I've been living in social housing since 1981. I'm distressed that a lot of people's homes are not fit for purpose. As an older woman with a hidden disability, with a partner who is disabled and has been unable to go to work for the last 6 months, because we've had continual, really basic problems with repairs. Over the last year, I have had to call emergency plumbers for a blocked toilet, the only toilet in my flat. And my Christmas was totally ruined. I spent Christmas Eve not cooking turkey, but cleaning up human waste in part of my bathroom. And I haven't even had an apology for all those disturbances. I have been promised a conversation with the repairs area manager twice this year. And I am still waiting for that conversation about repairs that haven't been completed. And I feel that we, as ordinary people living in old properties, are treated with disrespect. And sadly, this is nothing new. If you're black and old and not very well, particularly mental health issues, you don't get looked after. And I continually have said to the landlord, if you don't look after the people and enable them to talk to you, then your properties will suffer. But the property does suffer because contractors treat us very poorly. I recently had a gas safety check, and the contractor left the gas boiler actually producing hot water and heat, but managed to leave it so that it was leaking outside the house, and it was also leaking into my kitchen units. And unless, over the years, unless we as tenants keep chasing and saying, when's this going to happen? When's the next thing going to happen? Things get left. And, that makes us feel very unhappy with our landlords. And somebody said to me that, I should raise a complaint. But a lot of us are afraid to complain because we really fear that the complaint will be fed back to the contractors and we will get a flag saying, this is a difficult customer. And, a lot of people have said to me, oh, we've stopped reporting things to the landlord because the work that does get done is so awful. But also, we don't complain about how awful it is because we're afraid. I've been very lucky over the years that I have been a tenant, that because of my teaching skills, I have been able to be an involved resident tenant. I spent an interesting 7 years on the trust board, and I used to sit down with the chief exec and go through an agenda for a tenants meeting, which was called the Joint Commission, because we worked with the CEO and other senior managers on projects. Just recently, there has been an opportunity to become involved with the procurement process, where tenants have been trained to evaluate bids and to interview contractors. But I was surprised. There was a comment at one point in the last year that there were areas of the business that didn't think that residents should be involved in evaluating bids or selection processes for their part of the business, which I felt was demeaning, because there are a huge number of residents who are extremely skillful. They have professional qualifications that most housing management and staff just don't have. A lot of them are probably 10 years younger than I am, and they have retired, and they have got huge skills, and those skills are being wasted. And I've heard people on Zoom meetings saying, we want to help, we want to be involved, but the involvement seems to be people who will toe the party line. You know, the lack of respect for people's basic needs in their home to make them a safe place physically, and also understanding that for some of us, that home is the first home we've ever had, and it is our safe place. My concern is, it seems to me that contractors are being sent out to work in people's homes without adequate information about the repair, whether there is an ongoing problem, and whether the person has disabilities that should be taken into account. What I, as a teacher, always ask for is training for frontline staff and throughout the organisation. There is training on mental health issues, disability issues, and interpersonal skills, cultural skills, because my friends from the Caribbean and other parts of the world, some of them speak very softly, and others have very loud voices. And those with loud voices are not aggressive. I would like it that the training that the frontline staff are involved in is actually shared by tenants, and that the organisation trains tenants and empowers them to become involved in many aspects of the business. So it's more respectful conversations and being willing to learn from people who haven't got degrees, who haven't got a big house, who haven't got crystal clear English,